titties. Hee hee.
Ass and titties. Ass and titties.
Welcome back, race fans, to episode number 17 of the Armchairs Roosters podcast. I am your host, Tommy Joe, alongside my co-host here,
Alex Reckless.
Think. And we had some road course action fun this weekend, all weekend long.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good showing of motorsports this weekend, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. I didn't watch any of it.
No, you had the 24 Hours of Le Mans, or the 24 Heures de Mans, as the Frenchies would call it. I know I butchered that. I'm not French. I don't care to be French. However, let's talk about our weekends a little bit. Let's,
What'd you do?
What'd I do? Oh, you want me to start this week?
Sure.
Okay, what did I do? I watched racing. Did more, room cleaning and reorganizing because trying to fit two people into a bedroom is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But I did manage to watch, I would say, about half of the 24 hours. Caught a little bit of the Xfinity. I caught the tail end of the Xfinity race, and I would say I caught majority of the Cup race. What did I do Saturday? I feel like I did something Saturday.
Well, that's Xfinity race. Were you working on your room?
That was more Sunday.
Okay.
What did I do? I don't think we did anything Saturday. I think I finally took a day off. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Didn't do anything. Sunday I worked on my room.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, was really a uneventful weekend. No camper talk this weekend. But I heard you had a busy weekend.
Very busy weekend. Friday was one of Mel's friends' birthdays. So after work, we went to a distillery in Keyport called 3BR.
I did a lot of grilling this weekend.
Nice.
Made pork egg and cheese Saturday and Sunday.
Your snap.
And then yesterday, I ventured a little bit out and made some roast potatoes. They came out really good.
You sent that yesterday, right?
Yeah,
I saw
they
that.
came out really good, yeah.
Nice.
Sorry.
It's okay. 3BR.
3BR. 3-bedroom apartment?
No.
3-bedroom house? 3BR. Or three bathrooms?
Yeah.
Really? You went to 3 bathrooms this weekend?
Yes. It's a distillery in Keyport, as I already said.
I forgot about that, so thanks for reminding me.
It's communist. It's Soviet themed.
Oh, I ain't going there.
It was okay.
Or if I'm going there, I'm just blasting Freebird.
Yeah.
Or Unfortunate Son.
They played a lot of EDM, I guess, which Russians like to listen to.
Yeah.
It looked nice. It was very gray and black colors, but just red accents. A lot of bears everywhere. Maybe it's 3BR, BR. I don't know. The
3 Bad Russians?
Maybe. So where the bar, it's very long, right, front to back, and I was sitting all the way in the back at one of the lounges, so I'm the way you see my hands, for us is where we were sitting. So I was sitting all the way in the back in the lounge, and there's all these lounges or just chairs and tables up on this side, right?
Uh-huh.
And the bar's over here. And I'm looking, and I thought it was always just these big arch mirror things, right? But then I looked, I'm like, those aren't mirrors.
Those are archways.
They're giant windows, and you could see all the stills in the back.
Cool.
It was very cool. So the stills were a whole other room in the back behind the bar, but you could just see it behind.
Yeah.
So it was set up really cool. It was just a weird theme.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. That is a weird theme. Especially in Keyport, of all places.
Yeah.
Keyport's, not...
Very working class.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Friday. Saturday, I was with Mel all weekend. Saturday, we we saw their family, hung out at their parents' house a little bit, saw their brothers. And then I think that evening we didn't do much. And then Sunday we went to Turkey Swamp for a hike.
Nice. Jill and I want to start going for a walk. Well, she said hiking, but I think she means more of walking. But, you know.
I mean, we walked around the trail.
Yeah. I mean, next time you guys go, we'll take along if you don't mind.
I showed them the campsites. And because like it's close, but like they didn't want to be like, oh, it's on top. But like you have like
space. It's not bad because when after Pocono last year, I went there to finish emptying out the tank. It was only like $15 to empty.
But like you get power hookup, water. I think they have like the bathroom thing. A nice area. Right now you can't use any fire or coal there. I think that might be across New Jersey because it's so dry.
Or fire.
Wood or fire.
Fire or cold air.
I probably said fire. Excuse me. I probably said fire, but no wood or coal.
Yeah, because it's probably too dry.
Yeah. But and the prices aren't. Now. And it's already stopped raining, and the prices aren't too bad either.
No, it's not.
No. But yeah, so we walked around there because it's like. Even though it's close, it's somewhere like they have the lake, they have the trail, so like even we could take the camper there and just spend the weekend without having to drive back and forth and like go in the water, go walking, and just all that stuff.
Because that was gonna be my second idea for going away, was borrowing the camper for the weekend, going to Turkey Swamp or somewhere close,
just to be you guys.
Yeah,
I got that. But I mean, we'll probably look for other campsites that are like further but close. Yeah. But like Turkey Swamp is.
I mean, it's a hop, jump, and a skip away. I mean, it's not far. If you need to grab anything from home, you're not. You're not stranded. It's right in Freehold. I mean, it's not.
It's just. I mean, we can even take a tent, not even just a camper, but it's just something where we don't have to be. And again, like. There's enough you could do like for the weekend, like walk around and go kayaking. Actually,
the place that we're staying at, it's in PA. It's actually right next to an airport. Like the property that we're renting has a hangar on the property.
That's
it's funny. Like Englishtown, like Englishtown Airport.
Yeah, it's a small private.
It's like that. Because I was thinking, like, I wonder if we could try our flight from Englishtown to take us.
Yeah, right.
Because it's in PA. It's not too far. I don't think it's too far from Scranton, and they have a lake there and they have kayaks. Stuff,
cool.
So
cool. Yeah, so that was my weekend. I didn't watch a single green flag lap.
Or yellow or red or caution
nothing.
Or checkered.
Nothing. I did not watch racing this. Like I saw plenty of like video clips and whatnot of like 56. Actually, because I was out walking all day on Sunday, I didn't see anything of the NASCAR race.
You didn't miss much.
No, I watched.
You know that when Truex wins, he wins the most boring races possible.
Yeah, I watched two different like replay things because like one barely showed anything, the other showed a little more. There
wasn't really anything to show.
Yeah,
I'm sure like it was the drop of the green flag, and then like what you were riding to stage 2.
Pretty much, but like it didn't even show the cautions. Like the other one showed like Denny hitting the wall, and
that was later on.
Yeah, but the first one I watched didn't show anything. Like
the first caution was for a loose tire on pit road.
I saw that.
That was the first caution.
I saw that on the second replay. The first one, like it would just cut to caution, but it didn't show what they were. I don't know why. It said it was extended, but
was it not Fox or NASCAR?
I thought it was, but like it had some of the Fox broadcasting. But the second one had more stuff, and I saw, all the replays. Like, I didn't even know who won until I was like, there's a NASCAR race today when I was, like, in bed. And I was like, who won? But, I mean, while I was watching it, I saw how it started, and, like, the Toyotas. Well, I guess we're not there yet, huh?
I mean, you could touch on it a little bit. I mean, that's in the notes for the race, but, I mean, it's not...
Yeah. Well... We'll get back to that. But that was my weekend.
Wait, he's back in the lead?
No, Truex is. He's in 4th.
But why did it show...
Because it's Ross.
No, it just shows a different driver. What the fuck?
It didn't load yet. I don't know.
But it's not playing either.
I don't know.
What the fuck?
Was it different? I don't know.
Like it showed Ross first.
I know, it's not loaded yet. I don't know what to tell you.
What the fuck? NASCAR, fix your website. Yeah, so that was your weekend?
Yeah.
I did a lot of grilling. I love that Blackstone. Like that, like it's so easy to clean, it's so easy to cook on.
Mm-hmm. I saw...
We're gonna have a fancy palate this weekend.
Nice.
I mean, not this weekend, but for Pocono, we're gonna have a fancy palate.
Nice.
Don't worry, just burgers and dogs.
Real quick, I saw a thing... One of the days, I think on Saturday, we were driving around and wanted to look for some... Or no, on Sunday, we wanted to look for some... garage sales.
Garage sale.
Because on Saturday we saw a bunch, but we couldn't go to them. We had
I want
things
to hit
do.
up a couple garage sales.
There was a bunch in Keyport on Saturday. We were up there for a second, and then there was one. There was like nothing there, but there was a Blackstone. It was like the taco holders.
Did you get
No.
them? Dude, I would have used them for Pocono.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They also have so I'm on a couple of Blackstone groups, and like the big thing right now is smash burgers.
Yeah, so there's...
So, but it's not really... It's like a hybrid between remember the quesadilla burger from Applebee's?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that, where you have meat and then you press it down the press, but then you put tortilla over it. So it's kind of like a taco, and then like once you're done, you fold it up.
Okay, that's the thing that they're doing right now?
That's like the new thing right now that everyone's doing on their Blackstone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try it eventually, but the one thing that I really want to do is hibachi.
Okay.
I really want to try hibachi on Blackstone.
They're probably good. I mean, I showed you that one dude all the time. It's not hibachi, but it's like that Cajun dude.
But for Pocono, the menu is going to be a bit more expanded.
Okay.
I mean, we'll still have burgers and dogs. Mm-hmm. I mean, breakfast is still going to be the pork, leg, and cheese.
Always.
I mean, we have to have that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring some hash browns.
Ooh.
Because I could put some hash browns down there. And I was thinking maybe even doing like Waffle House style hash browns. You know, like the
stringy ones.
Like stringy ones. Like maybe something like that too. You know. But I think for the sake of ease, I think just, you know, like a hash brown, just put it on there and flip it. I think that's probably going to be the easiest. Mm-hmm. But we're definitely going to do roast potatoes. Okay. They're going to bring back that chicken, the Speedy chicken.
Yeah, it was good.
Inhaled at Dover.
It's good. I don't know. The stuff you put it in was good.
Yeah, it was. And so I made Speedies. The last time, I think I made Speedies sometime during, I think I made them Friday, or I forgot when I made them exactly. But when I made them, they marinated. So we were gonna make them one day, and then we made them the next day. I think I made that Saturday. I think that's what I made was on Saturday, because I grilled like the whole weekend. I made breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everyone in the house, and we made the Speedies, and they marinated for 24 hours.
Oh.
So they got really moist.
Moist. They were really
moist.
I love moist.
But it was good.
Okay.
It was good.
Good.
I guess we could start talking a little bit about racing. So Saturday into Sunday, you had the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is into their centennial era.
Yes.
Of 100 years since the first race. Because they didn't run during the war and all that other stuff. Obviously, But I mean, France was literally a battlefield.
It was, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah,
it was.
But you had NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports. They completed the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Yes.
Give those Hendrick boys. Let's give those rednecks from North Carolina big old pat in the back. Defying all naysayers, saying, "Oh, they have to make right turns for once. Oh, that's never going to make the distance." It took the checkered flag.
And
it is the second Garage 56 car to take the checkered flag.
Out of just a couple.
Out of like 5.
Yeah, but still.
It's still,
Mm-hmm. They put out
the second.
Put out a vehicle, a car that,
and it qualified well, because originally the Garage 56 entry starts in the rear. Mm-hmm. The car is so fast that they put it right behind the hypercars. Mm-hmm. Because for 2 reasons. Safety reasons, they don't want to see it, because the next gen car is just going to slice and dice the GTE.
Yeah.
And also, you don't want to see this fucking humongous, fat NASCAR Cup car, just obliterating Ferrari, Corvette, Porsche. You don't want to see that. You know what I mean?
No.
So they put it ahead of it. So it was
because they start like different groups, right?
They start different groups. In different times.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there was one issue about it was around like 21 and a half hours into the race, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
The gearbox failed, and they had to bring it back to the garage, and they had the gearbox replaced, and it was a little less than 2 hours. It was about like an hour and 20-ish for the repair itself, and then like another maybe 20 minutes, half hour to make sure that it's all good to go back, 100% back on the track. Jimmy Johnson, he raced in the rain. First time driving a cup car in the rain. Yeah. At night,
At
night. But he did a really good job of that. Just props to the whole crew. Jimmy Johnson, Jensen Button, Mike Rockefeller, they all did a great job. The goal was to finish, and they finished, Had they not had that issue with the gearbox, they probably would have beat the GTE field. And they probably would have beaten some hypercars too.
You think so?
Because there are some shots of the car.
I saw some
passing the hypercars coming out of turns.
Again, I don't know if when I saw when I saw some of those clips soon. I don't know if I saw them that hypercar was on old tires and the stock car was on fresh tires or whatever. But even still, to have that power, because those cars are fast and they have all the arrows to be on the ground, but you saw it had power.
There was one point during the broadcast. So I wish it wasn't only on Motor Trend. I wish there was a way to get it without that, because I buckled down and I bought it, and then I went to go download the app on Chromecast, and they had a free trial. So I was like, God damn it! It was only $5. It's not a big deal.
But I didn't get it because I'm not gonna watch Motor Trend.
I'm not gonna watch it either.
Yeah.
But I like cars, but not like that anymore. But I watched the broadcast, and there was one point during the broadcast, they didn't, for the amount of hype around that car.
Well, because we follow NASCAR.
Yeah, but
NASCAR's hyping it up. But
my whole TikTok feed this weekend was that car, and it wasn't NASCAR people. It was general accounts that I follow that don't talk about sports or racing. Were talking about this car. They were talking about Le Mans. This car got a lot of Americans talking about the 24 hours of Le Mans that wouldn't normally give two shits. You know what I mean?
And
it's kind of like the Olympics. You know how they want people that go, well, I'm not really patriotic, but when this stuff that's it got that vibe. This is America going to Le Mans. Granted, there's still Cadillac and Corvette there.
Yeah.
But it was this is America going to Le Mans.
This is
shit up,
American racing series.
Yeah. The goal of the car was to finish, and it did it. It finished the race, and it had good pace.
It performed.
And I really hope that this isn't it for that car. Because, granted, the whole thing probably could have just been a marketing ploy, because what was on... Where were they right after Le Mans?
Sonoma road course. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that played in perfectly to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Seeing as how our off week is the week after, do you think that they try to maybe do it again next year? There's only one Garage 56 entry, so I don't know who. I just feel like a lot of work went into this just to do this as a one-off thing, and then just put the car in a museum and just call it a day. You know what I mean? I
would like to see it become at least maybe for the Daytona 20, with IMSA.
Yeah. You know what I would like to see? I would like to see a stock car group, a stock car class in
NASCAR stock car.
Each team that wants to do it, each team gets one car.
Not even manufactured, a team.
Each team. You'd have Penske, you'd have Roush, you'd have... and maybe the smaller teams, you could double them up.
Go into a four,
so they can get three or four car drivers. You know what I mean? But you'd have Hendrick Motorsports would have one, Penske would have one, Joe Gibbs would have one, and then they'd have one car each, and then their driver lineup would rotate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you have a lot of the Cup guys that, or just NASCAR guys in general, that race in the Rolex 24
They've
anyway.
done that before,
Yeah.
and but they've taken like other teams,
Yeah.
the Cadillac or Corvette. But if you could have them like in their own class and race each other, like
I think that would be great. You know what I mean?
even if it wasn't just for the 24 hour, maybe if some teams kind of bought into it. Excuse me, like for maybe some of the 6 hours and
Yeah.
so just some of the endurance races.
It's a great thing because, like, I think at the end of the day, it proved that NASCAR isn't a bunch of rednecks that turn left. I mean, we were there, we competed, we completed.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Us as fans watching NASCAR, we know they do this, but they went to France. They went out for 24. They went out and did the 24-hour race against these other, just different
cars. Yeah.
It's completely different classes, and they performed.
Exactly.
I thought it was really cool.
No one that is a NASCAR fan that has a knowledge of what this car was supposed to be. No one expected this car to win.
No.
That wasn't even a thought. You know what I mean? Like, no one thought this car was going to beat the hypercars. We knew that. We knew it wasn't going to. The main goal of this was just to finish the race.
But when they started doing testing and practicing at Le Mans, and it was beating
the GTE, it was almost 5 seconds faster, 5 seconds a lap faster than the GTE, the fastest GTE car.
Honestly, because it was heavier, it made it better, I think.
A little bit, because you get a little bit more mechanical grip.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, it's a little bit harder to maneuver. But I mean, it's.
But that's the thing. Like, it wasn't so much that it was faster in the turns; it was faster off the turns, and then through the straights.
It was faster. It was faster on the straights.
Yeah.
Because it just had more power.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily faster in the corners, but it had a late entry and an early exit.
Yep.
But in the corner, it suffered a little bit. But like it would pass cars going into the corner, and it would pass cars going out of the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they would brake hard, and then, they suffer rolling, like you said, they roll through the corner and then gun it.
But I really hope that this isn't the end of this car and that there's more to come of it, you know what I mean?
They're the whole thing of going into it is like, NASCAR, all the teams are going to look into it, all the manufacturers are going to look to it, and, it would make road course racing better. But, like, that's not... First of all, even in this season, they've gone opposite of what Garage 56 is with the road course cars.
Yes.
They gave them less downforce.
But maybe, after seeing the success of the car, maybe they can... I mean, like, I don't want to see those wings on the Cup car.
No.
I mean, they're going to fall off. You can't have that in stock car racing.
That's the thing. NASCAR drivers like to run into each other.
You can't have that in stock car racing. But, I mean, I just think it would be... I just hope this stuff isn't wasted, you know what I mean?
I would like to see it become kind of like a class or something.
I would definitely like that, to see it become a class in either IMSA or in FIA, I mean, I think IMSA is a bit more realistic.
Yeah, just being here.
The logistics of touring Europe.
I mean, there is a NASCAR European series, whether they decide to... Because I think they want to make... There's been talks of NASCAR wanting to make a car that's general across all of their series, right? Mexico, the Pinties in Canada, and Europe. And maybe something with this, the European series, because they race some ovals there and they race some road courses there.
Yeah,
but maybe
they're more road course heavy than oval heavy. Like, we're more oval heavy than road course heavy.
But that's just how the tracks are in Europe.
Yeah.
But maybe if they could use this car, because those cars are more like late models.
Yeah, they look like late models more than anything.
But if they could, like,
it's just because costs.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah.
I think it's cost, and like I think they have to adhere to FIA standards.
But if they could make, if they could make this something that they could use in FIA, in the European league can race more with what's over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it would be bigger there.
I mean, this whole, like I said, it's just like, this isn't your father's NASCAR anymore. Like, this is real competitive, real technical NASCAR. It's not just go fast and turn left. You know what I mean? It's very technical. It's very critical. And I see that as a win. You know, it doesn't matter where we finish as long as we finished. And I'm pretty sure that's what I said before. And
that's what they were going for.
Yeah. I was going to say it before, and then I forgot, and now I just remembered. At one point during the broadcast, they were doing, it was either a pit stop or driver change. And the announcer was like, oh, yeah, you know, they completed something like 2,000 something miles. And it was like, or like 3,200 kilometers. And he goes, what the hell is a kilometer? I was like, he did the meme. He did the meme.
That's funny.
Because like my whole fucking feed on TikTok this weekend was either Freebird,
yeah,
or the what the fuck is a kilometer? Just like that was like just every video. Just
that's funny. That is good.
But I think it was great advertising on both ends. I mean, you got Americans more interested into
you're like
endurance racing,
yeah,
and you got the world. Maybe NASCAR isn't what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I definitely think both sides. It's a win-win for like no one lost here.
It didn't make NASCAR look like fools.
Exactly. Which I didn't think was going to happen, but it's always a possibility. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, the car could have just failed and, like...
Exactly. Or, like, they could have just... Because in addition to all the other modifications I talked about last week, the car did have ABS and traction control.
Oh, interesting.
But I wonder, like...
I guess that's an FIA thing.
Yeah. It's possible for, like, you know, just to have a simple screw up, you know? I mean, you see it every week in NASCAR. I mean, it's...
I mean, they race in the rain. And like I said, it wasn't with the Grudge 56, but, like, 2 hypercars and 2 GTE cars, I guess they were on slicks because it was only a part of the track. They blew into this part that was pouring rain and just started sliding.
Like, that could have been us.
Yeah.
That could have...
NASCAR can't race on rain.
Exactly.
But, you know, these, like, 4 or 5 cars just, like, slid. Mm-hmm. I don't think they wrecked too bad, but they caught in the rain, and it looked like they were just on slicks. As soon as it was wet, they were sliding all over the place. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean... and then, you know, even that issue with Kobayashi,
yeah. So
at night, you know, they could have been caught.
Tommy, I don't know how to say his first name.
They could have been caught up in that and be like, oh, it's just, you know.
Exactly. So, as you said, announced at Le Mans this weekend, Toyota Racing announced that Kobayashi is to make his NASCAR debut for 2311 at the Indy Road Course driving the 67 car, which is the third car for
2311.
For 2311. Kobayashi is a decorated Japanese endurance racing champion. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was that Toyota was the top car up until that happened.
Which is unfortunate, but yeah, that'll be exciting to see.
Mm-hmm. Again, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Bring on your best. Mm-hmm. Take your best, put them in NASCAR, and see how they do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's a different style of racing. I'll give it that. So like there is a learning curve there, but I mean at the same time, I feel like we have the best drivers. I can say it now because Cody Ware's not racing. We have the best drivers.
Well, I think we saw that with Coda until the chaos happened at the end. That, you know, some of these drivers, you know, Coda had some of the most ringers that we had in a while.
Yes. And
some of them did good.
Some of them did good, but also some of them struggled. Like early on, even Jordan Taylor struggled a bit because he just wasn't used to how aggressive. I mean, in like IMSA or, you know, like you give space. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. NASCAR, they take space.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all take and no give.
In most other road racing series, you get penalized for hitting each other.
Yeah, and NASCAR is encouraged.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about now, but
yeah, it's a different. There's a word I'm thinking of to sound smart, but I can't think of it.
It's a different breed.
Yeah, I mean that's not the word, but that's
what I'm saying. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But
it's a different discipline of racing.
It is.
That's what I wanted to say. It's a different discipline.
Speaking of Kobayashi, there was another driver that
Oh, I think I said there's another Kobayashi.
Well, no.
That's who I thought. I thought the Japanese Blizzinator was getting a cup ride, and I'm like, what?
No, I'm gonna bring up. I don't even remember the driver's name. Like you said, we were just mentioning it.
Project 91?
Yeah, it's...
there's the Aussie V8 supercar racer.
Champion
racing
three-time champion.
The 91, which I think of anyone that's going to hop into this car, like, just hop into this car, I think he's going to have the best chance, because
these cars are very...
The next-gen car is basically this.
So for Chicago, this was announced in May, but we just didn't cover it. But Chicago, which is coming up, and you said you were just going to say it then, but we're talking about drivers coming in now and talking about the ringers. 3-time Supercars champion Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be racing the Trackhouse Racing Team Project 91 car at Chicago Street Course. And like you said, I think I didn't compare them, say that they're exactly the same, but they are comparable.
Yeah.
And I think,
there's more similarities between a next gen and an Aussie car than the next gen and Gen 6.
Yeah. Like Jordan Taylor did good.
Yeah.
I think this guy's gonna do better.
He did well at Portland. Taylor,
yes, he did. He was in the top 5
because he knew, okay, I have to be aggressive.
Yes, yes, I saw that I saw he did good there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this guy coming in, he's gonna do good and I think he's gonna do well, because he's also supercars, they do street races.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be used to like uneven, like, even though this isn't like a crazy course, he's gonna be used to like just the cars handling different than
the narrowness and
uneven.
They do street races in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, they are repaving some of the roads in Chicago for this track, like they do at most tracks where they go to, but it's not going to be a perfect racetrack.
Speaking of Chicago, did you hear what already happened?
Some equipment
stuff was already stolen. Like I said, I really want this to be a success, but I have my doubts.
It's going to happen.
I don't think Chicago is the city to debut this at. I don't think Chicago is the place to have a street course race in period. But, I mean, it's...
They really could have gone to any other place that already does it.
They should have gone to Nashville. They should have gone to Nashville. They could have gone to Detroit. Somewhere, or Long Beach. Somewhere that already had...
I think Long Beach would have been the one.
Because that could replace Fontana.
Yeah, do it in the West Coast swing.
Yeah.
It could have been done. Again, Sonoma could still be in that West Coast swing, where it would be green.
But I think they wanted a race to replace, I don't know why they went away from Road America, because Road America was a great race.
That was a good race. It sold out. It's a good track.
It was a good.
It's a legendary track.
Which made me worried for like tracks like Pocono and Dover, because it's like, okay, this race had everything NASCAR wanted. It had great attendance, had good viewership, and it was on the 4th of July. And they got rid of it.
I don't know.
Like, what does a track have to do to stay on the schedule?
Yeah, I don't know. And it put up good racing.
It did. The only downside was that track has the longest yellow flags.
Yeah, it's a long track.
That's the only downside there.
Well, again, we could talk about that, because when we get into the Cup recap.
Cup recap. Also, one more thing I want to add. I don't have the notes. NASCAR is, I guess it's 2 things. NASCAR is in talks with racing back in Canada again. At the Gilles Villeneuve, whatever it is.
Where they raced. What was now Xfinity.
Yeah.
Oops.
They're in talks about going back there again.
That'd be fun.
Which, okay, I mean, I don't care. But I know, like, in the when the Xfinity Series raced there, like, teams like Mike Harmon Racing, they were paying to go there. Because the winnings is heavily taxed. You have to go through customs. Like, no matter even if they won, it's still red. Like, their checking account's still red after going, because of just the way that everything works out. And, like, when they went to Mexico, they got fucking held up. Like, they got robbed and shit. Like, it's not... I want them to expand a little bit, but it's like... I don't know.
I mean, I guess that's why they kind of have like these other series.
Yeah, but like the winnings for Cup is obviously a lot more than Xfinity. But still, I mean, it's you win more, you're still gonna pay more tax. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It'd be cool to know, but I don't know.
But yeah, so I guess we could start talking a little bit more NASCAR now.
Sure.
So Chase Elliott is, well, before we get into that, so the huge penalty for Briscoe at Charlotte. NASCAR, which I love them doing this, they had a demonstration on what was illegal. Now,
they had the illegal part.
Yeah, well, they had the counterfeit part. So, I remember when we talked about this last week, I was like, oh, it's probably, it was probably a piece for a show car or something or this or that. But because I originally thought it was the window.
Yeah.
I thought it was the
like a vent.
The vent in the window. But apparently this goes on the underside of the car to get air in or air out of the cab. It's to cool off the greenhouse, so to speak. And I don't see any reason why this part would even exist in the Stewart-Haas racing shop. Mm-hmm. Because it's not a part that you'd want to make to put on a show car because no one's going to see it. Mm-hmm. But they did show it, and they had the two pieces, and they were able to give it. I'm retarded here. They were able to find out that it was fake without even using the template because they have a template that fits into the vent. It didn't fit the template, but they have what's the word I'm looking for? Defects. It's a 3D printed part.
Yeah.
NASCAR put defects into the 3D printed part, so they know if that's their part or not. And when you put the two of them side by side, they're different shapes, and the printing just looks different.
That's hilarious.
It's like counterfeit money. Like how like you just feel that counterfeit money's fake.
Yeah,
it was kind of like that. And they made it smaller.
Is that so? Was that to like so more instead of air going in, like back pressure?
I don't know what the gain was supposed to be, but they didn't get it. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, wow. Again, I guess you're never gonna like find it until you get called back to R&D.
Yeah.
Because I guess they don't do that thorough of an inspection at the racetrack. But
I mean, this is something that's under the car, in the car, pretty much.
So like you only just like with Austin Dillon, like it's something you're only gonna find when they tear the car apart. So they're probably thinking like, I'm probably not gonna get called. You know what I mean? But like, it completely pushes a hole in my like, oh, it's for a show car. Like that part shouldn't have even like the part they put in the car shouldn't have even existed. Like why are they
in the
making
shop?
That?
Like they should be getting that.
It shouldn't have been made in the first place. Like this is just straight up clearly cheating.
Yes.
Like forget about like modifying parts. Mm-hmm. They made a part. You know what I mean?
They 3D printed a part,
and they were like 30th.
So did they think like, oh, like it's not gonna get us anything? It's cheaper for us to print it. Like did they, is that what they thought? And
I have no idea. Like I really want to know like how did that end up on the car? Mm-hmm. Because like clearly it didn't help. Mm-mm. It didn't help at all. And then the other thing is, if this was, like what they said, a quality control issue, which now it doesn't seem to be like that, because why would that part exist?
Yeah.
Like, even if...
The Stewart-Haas said it was a quality control?
Yeah. I just said it was quality control on their end. But just why does that part even exist
why
in the
are
shop?
they printing it if it's something that they buy?
Yeah. Why does it even exist? Which is like, I mean, if it did give them an advantage, hey, props to them. But, but why?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then in other news, NASCAR and Fox released footage of the updates, the safety updates to the side. Did you see this?
I saw that.
So
it's not so much the side, it's the crumple zones of the fronts of the cars.
Well, it's that, but they also put a steel plate in.
Okay, on the side?
They put a steel plate in that they have on the driver's side. They put it on the passenger side, and I think the bars were thinner, and then they notched more of the front of the C-frame in the front of the car.
Yeah.
To absorb the impact, so it doesn't just go straight through.
They let them so instead of having to buy all new parts, they're like, put these notches here. And in those videos, like, because in recent...
That could be a slippery slope.
They might not notch it right.
Exactly.
But you don't want it to bend too much.
No.
So, that they still...
But who takes creative liberty here?
I know.
You know what I mean?
We'll see.
This is the first time they're letting the teams modify the car.
Obviously, they're going to look at it all.
Well, of course, what I'm saying.
But, because you saw, like, we've seen, like, these cars that there's some of the crumple, like, some of these newer cars, like, they'll break and, they'll give in the front, but not a lot.
No.
But in these videos that they showed, like, people were comparing them to, like, the Gen 6, like, the older cars, like, you saw
the whole front.
The front end collapse, which I thought you would still want because of the whole fact of its three-piece, the front clip, the middle.
Let it destroy the front clip and replace it.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, and now obviously we're going to get that, and then
And I believe that these are going to debut at Atlanta.
Okay.
So it's going to be a couple weeks before they're out of the track. Because all the teams have to, make adjustments. NASCAR has to check it, make sure it's all okay. And they're not going to say, "Hey, change this on your car that you're racing, that you're putting up for next week.
Drill these holes." And so we're probably not going to see really any cheating on this because if it's going to be a couple races, they're going to drill them. NASCAR's going to look at them and say if it's good or not. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're going to have an issue with it. And even until then, after that, then the parts that they're going to get are just going to be from the factory like that. So it's going to be whatever. So I don't think there's going to be too much issues of teams taking liberties with this. But it looked better than what we saw with Talladega. So.
Mm-hmm. Why does that show me the playoff standings? But anyway.
Well, because wins get you up top.
It wasn't showing me the playoff standings. So, back this week from another break. Chase Elliott is back. Kind of pretty much,
he did okay.
He did all right. I mean, he was leading at some points. He did talk about the incident. I mean, he said he's made some mistakes, and he's not proud of.
He did damage control.
Yeah, I mean, but I still don't think he needs to apologize to Denny, and I don't think it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And if Denny's gonna wait on that, don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
But do you think he makes the playoffs?
Chase?
Yeah, there's 11 races before the playoffs.
Did he get a waiver?
Yeah, he got a waiver.
All right. I could see him getting a win. If he gets a win, that puts him in, right?
Yeah, because right now
he's still pretty okay on points.
The projected playoffs right now, your top 16 as of right now is William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, Logano, Bell, Reddick, Harvick, Stenhouse, Keselowski, Buescher, Wallace, and Bowman. That's
Bowman.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been higher if it wasn't for those penalties.
True.
Just like Byron probably would have a lot more if it wasn't for those penalties. You know what I mean? But just on that cusp. 3 points back, you have Daniel Suarez. 11 points back, Ty Gibbs. Surprisingly, 44 points back is Michael McDowell.
He's had some decent finishes.
I mean, he had a pretty good run yesterday. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he had the issue on pit road, and that set him back some. But he was looking pretty good. And I know that you say that, he's just good at super speedways and road courses. That's a third of the schedule. That's a third of the schedule that he has any given chance to win. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, I would say having a good chance to win a third of the schedule is probably better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, not is better than others. You know what I mean? And then
Dinger's not doing too bad.
Oh wait, I messed that up. McDowell is 14 points back. 33 points back is AJ Allmendinger, and then he got 39 points back. Austin Cindric and LaJoie is 40 points back, and I really think, as far as pointing your way in, I think that's kind of where it stays, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots open right now. You have 10 different winners. You have 6 spots open. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all possible. You know what I mean? I think even if Ross doesn't win, he's still going to make it.
He's in
as long as
fifth, sixth.
He's in
just on points.
He's in fourth in points. If he can go back to what he was doing before, he
got a little quiet.
He did. If he can keep doing what he was doing, then he'll be doing all right.
Yeah. I don't know how he finished. I didn't see how anybody finished, other than Truex Jr. winning and Busch finishing second. But watching the replays, it looked like he was doing okay at this race.
He was doing better than he normally did. Mm-hmm. He was doing better than he has been the past couple of weeks.
He does well on road courses.
Yeah. We got his first win at Coda.
Yeah.
And then Chase Elliott's all the way back, 84 points. He's not pointing his way in.
No he has to win.
Yeah, he has to win. Unless he finishes second. Unless he wins every stage and gets second place every race from here now, there's no way he points his way in. Mm-hmm. He has to win. Because I would really draw that line at LaJoy. I would say that these over here have the possibility to point their way in.
Yeah.
But Chase's, that's not happening.
I can see it. I can see him winning a race.
Oh, I can see him winning a race too, and I think the pressure is going to help that. I feel like he... Because in the playoffs last year, he would do okay in the first round. Mm-hmm. He would do okay in the first race, terrible in the second race, and then win the third race and advance in. He kind of was able to work well under the pressure of the circumstances that surrounded him. Mm-hmm. I honestly think he's going to get a win and get in.
I don't think he'll get too far based on points, because even if he wins and gets in, he's going to be low.
Yeah.
But I think he makes it to the playoffs.
Let's look at the schedule. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 races left. And 10 winners so far. Do we get more than 16 winners this year?
No.
No?
No.
So before the playoffs, how many winners do you think we get? We're at 10 already. If you look at this, just so we're not going back and forth.
Yes.
And if you look at the standings.
With winners.
So Ross hasn't won. Harvick hasn't won. Keselowski hasn't won, and Keselowski's been he's been showing some good runs in that 6 car this year. A lot better this year than last year.
Busher hasn't won. I don't see him winning.
Busher hasn't won. Bubba hasn't won yet. I mean, you put him at a mile and a half.
He's been running strong.
You didn't think he has a bunch of top fives.
Yeah.
Bowman hasn't won. Suarez hasn't won.
I want to see Suarez win, but I don't know if I could see him winning.
Chase Elliott hasn't won. Austin Dillon hasn't lucked his way into a win yet.
I don't think he's going to get a win this year. I see Chase winning. I do see... go back up. I see Ross winning. Kevin might get a win.
Kevin's got to get a win this year.
Yeah.
And on next week's episode, we're going to have a little guest segment about Kevin Harvick.
Yes, we will.
Not with Kevin Harvick, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we're not that cool to get drivers yet.
But we're gonna have our buddy Logan from the fantasy league, and he's gonna give a little bit of a story about Harvick's his career and why he likes him.
Nice.
A little send off for him,
Mm-hmm. Those are what did I say? 3. Those are 3 definites I see happening.
You said how many? You said Ross, Harvick.
Ross, Harvick, and.
Chase. So that's 3.
Chase.
Bubba. That's 4.
You think Bubba's going to get a win?
Yeah.
He's been running strong. See, I see them at least. Either one of them. I see either one of them or none of them.
And we have 3 more road courses before the Roval. Before the playoffs.
Dinger does well at Indy.
He does. He won there. Mm-hmm. In the Cup Series. I'm saying we have 3 more road courses left, and Dinger's right there too.
I don't. That's still what you're saying. We need another 10.
No, we have 10 races with
And
6 winners. Well,
There's
10
16
races
winners.
with seven. That would be more than
20.
20.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think realistically,
It's possible, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
okay.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think it's too late for the conversation. I think if we didn't have people like Kyle Busch and William Byron winning 6 races together, I think that would
Truex
be a more
has a
realistic
couple,
conversation.
right? Truex has
He
2.
has a couple. He has 2. Again, both races dominating fashion.
By the way, speaking of Truex winning, he now passed Stewart for Sonoma.
Yes, he sits behind Gordon with 4 to his 5.
Yeah. Which I never really thought of that. Like,
No.
he's pretty good there.
Yes. He's won with 3 different teams.
Yeah.
He's won with
Michael Waltrip.
Michael Waltrip, Furniture Row, and Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
So, guess we can start rolling into
The race.
the race. I mean, there's just a little bit to talk about with the Xfinity race. Almirola beats Larson to get his first win with Ryan Sieg Racing.
Oh, wait, Xfinity?
Yeah. It's really interesting because it seems like anytime Larson struggles, Almirola is right there. Whether it be spinning out and taking out Larson, or getting into Larson, or winning, it always seems to come at Larson's expense.
I saw something on my phone with this race, and they were like, this is the first time they've ever been there for Xfinity?
No, I think it's the first time they ever won.
No, not Almirola.
Ryan Sieg is the first time they won, I think.
No,
Or the
I
first
thought
time that Xfinity was there?
Yeah.
I think so, because I think the trucks used to run it. Yeah,
That's-
that is right, because this was Ty Gibbs' first time at Sonoma.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So, Larson was gaining on Almirola in 11, the hairpin.
Okay.
And there's tires there.
Yeah.
And he kept getting closer and closer and closer to the tires, almost getting to Almirola. Well, he got a little bit too close to the tires, and as he's turning, it turned his wheel straight. And he just lost it. I mean, he saved it. He fell back to third, but I mean...
But he
lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that. Almirola got a win. I mean, I think that might be his last win.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I don't see him winning in the Cup.
No. Stuart Haas isn't that good right now.
Did they already race New Hampshire?
No.
No. That's like the one track he seems to be good at.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So Cup Series, no stage breaks this week. Kind of like the race, it kind of got drawn out. Like I feel like of the 6 road courses we have, I would say that Sonoma and Watkins Glen could use the stage breaks because they're not tracks like Indy or the Roval or Coda where
they have that turn.
They have that really sharp turn 1 where if the caution comes out, you're going to get repeat cautions because they can't get through turn 1.
I mean, Watkins Glen kind of has that, but it does have a big runoff.
It has huge runoff, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, I mean, you can get out of the way and get around and then they can keep going. But it does have, Watkins Glen does have those dive bomb turn 1s, but there is so much runoff.
But there's a lot of runoff, there's a lot of room to avoid it, I think Watkins Glen's my favorite road course. It's such a fast road course, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely, like, one of my favorites to drive, either in, like, heat or iRacing. Like, I like racing
I mean,
on Watkins Glen.
it's not a very technical one.
No, it's not. But it's a momentum track, you know what I mean? Where, like, you have to hit everything perfect, but it's not, like... It's not technical like Coda.
No.
But it's all about the momentum of keeping your speed through each of the corners.
Yeah.
Because if you're slow in one corner, you're really not going to get it back.
Each turn, like the S's and then those, like, the last couple turns, like, each one leads into the other. It's like you said, it's momentum. It's very rhythmic. A very rhythmic track.
Yeah. Because you have turn 1, and then you have the S's, and then you have the backstretch. You have the bus stop. Then you have the carousel, and then you have. Another,
I don't know what number of turns they are, but the last two.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bus stop. Right? I'm doing that right? Because you go.
I think you had too many in the S's.
I think I did, because it's like.
1.
Right? Because it loops back. Oh yeah, so it's like this. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I think they should run the boot.
The thing
At
is,
least once.
Yeah, but I think the thing is the boot is narrower, and it doesn't have all the safety upgrades that NASCAR uses.
Fuck it, put him there. Do it.
I know. I don't know. I think it would be fun. Use the whole track.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're at an hour.
Well, we did have to start and
oh
restart
yeah,
some
true.
point, But yeah, so it kind of had like an F1 type feel to the race because it was so drawn out. Like the first caution wasn't until a loose tire on pit road, which I mean, realistically, they could have just closed pit road, got the tire, and then reopened pit road. I mean, not really that big of a deal.
No.
I mean, it's such a long entry to pit road.
It is.
Where like you could get it and not get hit.
I guess NASCAR wanted a reason.
They wanted the caution. We needed the caution.
Yeah.
Toyota had a strong showing at the start of the race. They were leading the top 5 spots for the majority of the beginning of the race.
I saw that. Like, I was going to start talking about it, but like when I was watching the replay, I'm like, there's a lot of Toyotas in the front. They qualified well.
And Denny Hamlin talked a lot about how Reddick was a big part of helping Toyota's road course setups.
Interesting.
I remember it was after Coda where like Denny was like, I really just I watched Reddick in the sim and I want to do exactly what he did. Because I mean, Reddick had 2 road course wins last year.
Yep.
2 or 3. At least 2, because I know he won Indy. Did he win Road America?
I don't remember. You're just the wrong person.
Yeah. But anyway. So with this recent dominance with Toyota at road courses, because they won the Roval, they won Coda, and they won Watkins Glen. I mean, they won Sonoma. Has Hendrick Motorsports / Chevy lost their road course dominance? Because Chevy hasn't won a road course since Larson last year at Watkins Glen.
I don't think so, because at the end of this race, there were still 3 Chevys in the top 5.
Yeah. But none of them are getting close to
no
Truex, though.
But we also just talked about this is now Truex's 4th win there.
Yeah.
And Jeff has the most with 5. So
yeah.
That definitely has Truex being good there definitely plays a role in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Once some pit strategy started playing out and some things happened, like it was definitely Truex's race to lose, but it wasn't just a Toyota race. So I don't think Chevy / Hendrick, because they were very strong with Chase and Larson. I don't think
Byron was up there too.
Yeah, but like the last 2 years, it was the Chase and Larson show at road courses. Mm-hmm. I don't think they lost any of that. I think if you didn't have Truex Jr. in this race, it would have been Chevy winning.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, Busch finished 2nd.
True, he was racing his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Kyle Busch is really getting into that arc that his brother had, Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone hated Kurt, and then Kurt fucked up a lot, and then he kind of just rebranded himself as like the good guy.
Yeah,
and it worked. And I don't think Kyle Busch is really rebranding himself as a good guy. Like, I wouldn't say it's.
He's just
Kyle. This is still the same Kyle Busch from last year.
He's just saying, I'm good and I'm still here.
Yeah, like Kyle Busch. For me, I don't hate Toyota. I don't like Joe Gibbs, and I think that stigma, and also being a junior fan,
I think because Hendrick Motorsports ran into it a little bit where like Kyle was just like he was Kyle.
Yeah, he was cocky Kyle. I mean, he's definitely matured since he left. Since he left Hendrick Motorsports, he's definitely matured a lot.
But he complained. He always complained.
Oh yeah.
And I I guess last year it was just like, I don't know, they didn't give him anything good or something,
No.
but RCR they're giving him the good stuff.
They are.
Or he's just that good.
They're just making it work for each other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So with Truex went at Sonoma, and I believe he's only on a 1 year contract deal with Joe Gibbs. Since he's been winning, do you think he goes out? Do you think he sticks around next year, or do you think he goes out on top?
He hasn't announced that he's retiring. Right?
He hasn't announced anything yet. But Truex is a very soft-spoken guy. He doesn't really say a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Even like texting, he just uses like emojis. He doesn't even like text.
That's
like,
what the other drivers say.
Yeah, like he'll just use emojis or like one-word responses. So like to get any kind of statement from him is a big deal. I do think that I think part of his personal life is going to play into this because he's not with Sherry Pollux anymore. Mm-hmm. His long-term girlfriend, partner, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. Maybe he has time now that he didn't have before. I don't know. I mean, that's his personal life. I'm not trying to really get into that. Yeah. But I mean, that's obviously going to play a factor into what he decides.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how he does. And it depends if Joe gives him a contract. I mean, you just saw Busch leave.
Yeah, because I don't see anyone in the Xfinity Series right now that has to get a cup ride right now. Like besides Barry, but Barry's probably going to Stewart Haas.
Yeah.
But like, I see Austin Hill moving up to a third RCR car. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to let him go away. But there's no one really else. Like, Sammy Smith is doing a really good job, but let him stay there for a bit. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Drivers haven't, like... The teams haven't let drivers, like, marinate and sit in these lower series. They've just...
Which Joe Gibbs did a lot of.
Yeah.
Just getting them through. He rushes them up too early, then they suck. It completely kills their ego.
And he just dumps them. Eric Jones.
I remember like at one point Toyota had more drivers and seats. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it was like you're always on like they had the perfect lineup. Like they had one of the GOAT of a lineup. They had Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, and Carl Edwards.
Yeah.
And they lost it. Mm-hmm. They pushed fucking... Again, I don't know the specifics. I feel like...
What, with Kenseth or Edwards?
With Edwards. Like, he literally just dipped. And was like, bye. I don't know... Because that pushed Suarez up too early. Mm-hmm. And then you had them pushing up Eric Jones for...
Kenseth.
For Kenseth, and I mean, look what happened with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure he would have much rather kept Kenseth in the car than Jones. No offense to Eric Jones, but I mean, Kenseth was winning. Mm-hmm. Jones got what, 1 or 2 wins in the 20 car. I mean,
he didn't.
But he did it right with Christopher Bell. He was in there for a while.
Yeah.
And look at Christopher Bell. He's showing results. You know what I mean? He's probably not going to go anywhere.
I don't think so. He's doing well.
I mean, and I feel like of all the Joe Gibbs drivers, Chris Bell is probably the most likable. I would say even more than Truex.
He's very... I feel like you don't hear anything about him. He just races and then that's it. He just races, he does okay, and then,
But, yeah, so that was about Toyota. Do we have any Darth comments of the week? I didn't look for any. I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, I didn't
really look for any. There were still a lot left over from the whole chase thing.
Yeah, there were just people still complaining about how boring the race was, but it's the same people that complained about not having having the stage breaks.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what do you want?
And then but that also brings up. I want to bring up what we've said, what I've said before, and we've said time before, because you mentioned it about Indy.
Oh, yeah.
The just red flags. And I've brought up doing the hybrid red flag where you red flag, stop the field after, and then, you line them up in their positions and do live pit stops, and then you stop, you have them frozen again, clean up the track, and that, you're not driving around for 4 laps.
You don't need to, because that's like 15 minutes of wasted time.
I mean, whether it takes that long to clean the track or not, but at least you're not wasting that fuel and wasting those lap counts.
Yeah.
Well,
that's really what it is wasting the lap count.
Mm-hmm. Like, whenever, with the Indy race, I mean, most of those, they were pretty big wrecks, but a lot of the wrecks, they red flagged it. Yeah. Because they didn't want to lose.
They wanted... Because
Indy also doesn't have the overtimes.
No, Indy doesn't have overtime. And the Indy 500 has always been, so since inception, 500 miles. Mm-hmm. They're not going to mess with tradition and extend the race past 500 miles. Because that would just be sacrilegious.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the 107th running. You're not going to mess with history. No. You know what I mean? So the race had to end on lap 200. Mm-hmm. It had to.
Mm-hmm. And they did everything they could.
They did everything they could to make sure that the race ended at lap 200 and it ended under the checkered flag.
Yeah.
Not under a yellow.
Yeah.
Which I applaud them for that. You know what I mean?
Even if it was 1 lap shootout,
which it was.
Yeah.
It was a 1 lap shootout.
Yeah.
But you got to see the driver race to the finish. Mm-hmm. Joseph Newgarden, unfortunately, raced to the finish to win.
But that brings, especially with road courses or bigger tracks like over 2 miles, if there's a caution, you just stop the field, stop counting laps, bring them together, put them in their position. If they want to pit, do your live pits. If they don't want to pit, go past.
Yeah.
Regroup, clean the track, green flag. Mm-hmm. You're not wasting gas, you're not wasting fuel, you're not wasting laps under yellow, and and you could even do that with these stage breaks at road courses, so you could still break up the race.
Jill said, "I want chicken nuggets so bad. I don't know if she meant to put Mr. or right now."
RN. Yeah.
If you put MR. I don't know if you mean I want chicken nuggets so bad, mister.
It could have.
I want chicken nuggets so bad, mister.
Maybe. It could quite possibly be that.
Yeah.
I want chicken nuggets now.
Yeah, right? So...
Remember when we kept getting dino nuggies?
Yeah, we did. Hot Lips days.
I don't have any Darth comment.
No, but I mean,
I didn't send anything to you, right?
But people are just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They complain about stage racing, and then they complain when they don't have stage racing. But they don't want to. They don't want to admit that they're complaining about. They don't want to admit that they're complaining about the lack of stage racing.
Yeah. They just say that the race was boring.
And then there's still people that complain. You got to get rid of stage racing altogether. Like just get rid of the cautions is not enough. You need to get rid of it altogether.
And then, but then it's like it's the road course. Road course racing sucks. Like, no, it doesn't. If you watch,
you know what the second sanctioned NASCAR race was?
A road course.
A road course race. Do you know where the NASCAR season used to start? Riverside.
Yeah, the road course. Isn't that California?
Yeah.
California on a road course? Are you kidding me?
The fucking Boomer's head would explode if that happened today.
Yeah.
If the race started at like Long Beach or Sonoma,
that'd be
dude, they would go crazy. Just how they bitch about fucking Kyle Busch winning the 2015 season without running the full schedule. Hello, almost every other champion from Petty's era won it that way, without racing the full schedule. Oh well, these races don't matter. These races don't... Like, you really want to go off the whole tangent where like, the first 26 races of the season don't matter? They didn't. You race the big races and you get the points.
Yeah. Darfs.
Anyway, so race preview next week. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I honestly could use this break. Although next weekend I'm not free.
No, because next weekend we're going to We're going to Shitty Field with our dads.
Listen, Shitty Field is great.
Anyway, it's nice.
Let's go Mets. It's Father's Day. We're going. My family and Tom is bringing his father. We're going to the Mets game. That's Saturday.
Do you see what they're giving out? The first 15,000 fans.
No.
Mets bucket hats. They're bright orange.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I missed the
It's
fucking.
always a hat on Father's Day.
I missed the sunglasses one.
The shitties.
Yeah.
The shit vipers.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a post.
Why is that not a fucking thing?
What?
Shit vipers.
Make.
Remember when we were at Bristol and we were talking to Racetrack Rob and he's like, oh yeah, because he thought you were a pit viper.
That they could. They could shit vipers and shitty pit vipers.
But I guess I don't
know. Because Saturday I'm doing the fucking suit tux, whatever they're wearing.
So
fittings.
my buddy's getting married in October.
Yeah.
Yesterday I just got the message about suits.
We just I don't know where my phone went, but it's not by me. Thank you.
It was literally right here.
Well, I don't know. Projector is available.
Yeah. Oh.
I can go tomorrow. I'll message them about tomorrow. Projector is camper talk. Since there's no race to talk about next week, let's look at our phones. Is it available?
It is available.
Oh my god, you have to get it. Oh my god. You're just as I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I'm gonna get it. I had to get it.
Just on the screen as we're like, you have to get it. It's just a picture of
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have trains.
Love trains.
I like trains.
Trains.
Remember those movies from YouTube, the ASDFG movies or whatever it was? I like trains.
Okay.
I'll show it to you later.
Yeah.
You'll probably remember it.
Why did I want to look at my phone? Well, we just...
You missed out on the sunglasses?
Oh, no. Fucking next weekend, where there's no racing.
Yes.
Is there Xfinity or anything? Is it off? Indy? Truck? Is there anything?
No, not videos.
Sketty?
Nope, Nashville. Let's look up IndyCar. I still think it's so stupid that they have off on Father's Day but not Mother's Day.
I think we talked about this. Is it something that they're is there something else that they compete?
I mean, they need an off week.
Yeah. I guess
Make it Mother's Day.
I don't know. Bro, I don't know.
Any IndyCar this weekend? Look at Justin Newgarden. He got 2 wins.
June 18th.
That would be...
That's Sunday.
Okay, yeah. So there is some kind of race next weekend. Well, I guess we'll talk about this at Road America.
That's going to be on USA?
Yes. USA Peacock.
Love Peacock.
Yes. I still, like, that 500 was just, like, that was a great race. Mm-hmm. It was just all around amazing. You know what I mean?
We didn't have a video for the Detroit GP, did we?
No. I didn't really get to watch much of it, and I didn't want to...
I heard
they're doing the doubleheader again. So they have at Iowa.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And again, so a little bit of commentary here. So everyone keeps talking about, well, how can we have more off weeks without making the schedule longer? It's double headers.
We can talk about this next week.
We're gonna talk about this next week. Double headers is the way to go. As two people that experience a double header,
that was great.
It is the way to go. Double headers will fix the schedule. It will fix everything. Mm-hmm. Because you could add more races and not lengthen the season one bit.
Yeah.
You could have 45 races.
Save it for next week.
Oh, I will. But like next week, that's what we're going to talk about.
Sure.
So next week we're going to have a state of the series address.
Okay.
And we're going to list all the good, all the bad, and our ways to fix it. That's going to be next week's episode. It's going to be how do we fix NASCAR?
Eliminate all super speedway races.
And Toyota. And Joe Gibbs. Just Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
Just get rid of Coach. Like Gibbs and Ty Gibbs. Bye-bye. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, isn't it?
Sure, yeah.
So, this has been episode number...
17.
This has been episode number 17 of the Armchairs Racers This has been episode number 17 of the Armchairs Racers Podcast with your host, Tommy and Joe, alongside my co-host here,
Alex Reckless.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.